Nissan Z on GT Radial tires. Let's see what you got here. Forsberg going against Eve Meyer in the chase position. Initiates now into that first outside zone. Slowly kind of works his way out there. Now snaps into that second outside zone. Eve Meyer tuck into the smoke. Oh man, look at the pressure that Eve Meyer's got. Nice to have BC Racing go for gold. Eve Meyer looking very comfortable at 86. He does impede on that inside clip, but man, Eve was right there.
He was.
And that would be 3 strikes and you're out. But so extinguish, 2 seconds, and that was a clean start. As long as he doesn't hit a cone, we're good to go. There it is. So here we go, that drift force. Gazoo Racing, Switzerland, Toyota GT86 comes now into that outside zone. Chris Forsberg, NOS Energy, all new Nissan Z on GT Radial tires. Eve Meyer, massive angle there. Huge angle from Eve. And look at that. Forsberg with a little shallower line, takes that inside line now, gets all close and personal to him around that inside clip. Here we go, digesting those runs here. Yellow Speed Racing, Liquimolly, brand new Corvette for him, 2 new cars, same great drivers. Here we go, Chris, of course, Forsberg out front, gets the clean air. And then all new Z, Taylor Holt, a little bit more air, no bumper. Here we go, that first outside zone. Let's see how Forsberg and the new Z handles it, gets all the way out there. Taylor Holt a bit shallow, going middle of the line. Let's see what Forsberg does. Gets out there, but now look at Taylor Holt, he strikes. Nice aggressive nature, comes in really tight there. A little bit nervous, he didn't make contact. He took that shallower line, more aggressive him. And Chris Forsberg, a great debut for them as they are now both in the top 16. We got a clean start, kids. Taylor Holt out front. Chris Forsberg in the chase position. Taylor Holt initiates. Solid little handbrake pull into the outside zone. There goes Taylor Holt. Forsberg taking a bit of a shallower line. Look at that. Look at how Chris Forsberg held back a little bit and allowed him to gain proximity. Now going to that final outside zone. He's going to dive in here on that touch and go, and Forsberg gets right to the side of Taylor Holt. That brand new livery, brand new bumpers, that all new Rain-X Toyota GR Corolla going against the all new NOS Energy Drink Nissan Z on GT Radials. Here we go. Chris Forsberg, way late initiation. Ryan Tuerck initiates. Massive initiation. Tiny bumper, he goes into that wall, and now into that third outside zone. Forsberg now turning it up. What went wrong for Forsberg out of the gate? Oh, gets out of shape.
Yeah, something's wrong.
Something is not 100 for Chris the Force put on a fresh set of GT Radials, but definitely comes out swinging. Here we go, homeboys. Forsberg and Tuerck going against each other. The NOS Energy Drink, all new Nissan Z on GT Radials. Whoa, baby! Whoa, doctor, look at that. Whoa. Nasty, taps it in, backs it in. Backs it up. Chris Forsberg going for it. He knows he's going against #1 qualifier, Ryan Tuerck.
Wow, that was exciting.
He absolutely looked. Forsberg and Adam LZ. Coming on down the chute, Chris Forsberg will lead. Forsberg qualified 12th compared to Adam LZ 21st. Forsberg initiates. Adam LZ dropped back a little bit. Forsberg pulling away in that VR-powered Nissan Z. Into that second outside zone, gets all the way out there. One of the fun haver teams, Adam LZ, comes now out of the horseshoe and past that inside cliff. So LZ on Nitto tires. Chris Forsberg, NOS Energy Drink. All new Nissan Z. Adam LZ coming down the chute, initiating almost identically as LZ throws it down. Forsberg, you saw him, really good proximity there, almost had to check up. Big angle from LZ, big angle guy. Now flicks it around past that BC Racing front clip, exiting out of the horseshoe. LZ, big angle again, look at that. Forsberg, Chris Forsberg qualifying 12th. Both these gentlemen with brand new cars for the 22 season. Castro, Genoa, Metaldom, GR86. Chris Forsberg in his brand new, all new Nissan Z. Castro initiates. Chris Forsberg knocking over that cone, no big deal there. Now coming up the hill, Castro, Forsberg hitting that what is to be the touch and go into that second outside zone. Goes Castro, Forsberg right there. Oh, look at that. Forsberg right there on the door of the Toyota 86. Now coming back down, the pressure being applied. Now bringing it around that final inside clip. Woo, doctor, look at that. Solid run. That was, like you said. Here we go. Let's alternate the order. Chris Forsberg will lead. Jonathan Castro giving chase. Let's see what Forsberg's got with that clean air. And Castro drops into formation. Oh, a little cross the nose there. I don't know if Castro gave him enough room. Ooh. And look at that as Forsberg initiates. Castro taking a shallower line into that first outside zone. Now approaching the second inside zone. Castro dives in. Now he's applying the pressure. He bangs on the door of Forsberg. Forsberg stays in it. Castro fighting to hang on. And one more clip makes some noise for Forsberg and Castro. I think just really smooth, aggressive earlier in all the battles. Let's see what we got. Rad Dan out front, coming down the hill. Here comes that Mark IV Toyota Supra into that first front clip. Big angle there from Dan Burkett. Taking that middle line past what will be that touch and go. Burkett into the first outside zone, coming to that second outside zone. Dan Burkett getting all the way out there. Forsberg now transitioning out, and you cannot even see them with the naked eye. There is so much smoke, unbelievable, as Burkett and Forsberg. Holy cow, that was, I don't know, you know, we had some words with him earlier, kind of broke up, but he is just, whatever he's doing, let's see more of that this year.
Absolutely.
Chris Forsberg leading NOS Energy Drink, all new Nissan Z on GT radial tires into that first clip. Dan Burkett tucks into formation. Forsberg powers up the hill in that first outside zone 1. Burkett, big angle there, does not get out to the outside zone 2. Burkett, you can see him, he missed that outside zone, but that was a good compromise. He got the proximity. Now Forsberg passed that touch and go, and one more clip. Whoa, Dan Burkett really, unfortunately, went tight on the battle. The Type S top 4 here at Road Atlanta. Coming through the start chicane. No problem, got a clean start from Matt Field. Coming down the hill. Let's see how they handle this. Both of them initiating almost identically into that front clip. Wow, look at Matt Field pulling away from Forsberg. Did not expect that, but now look at turn on that smoke machine. Comes in to the first and second outside zone. Forsberg knocking over that inside clip, now exiting out of the horseshoe. Past that final front clip and bringing on up the hill. Man, you know, it was very grand, tragic fashion. Here we go, Forsberg out front, NOS Energy Drink, Nissan Z, Matt Field giving chase. Initiating, big angle there from Forsberg coming to that front clip. Matt Field taking out that front clip, now coming in up the hill in that first outside zone, now coming to the second outside zone. Both of them getting all the way out there. Look at Matt Field. Oh, and look. Did Matt Field breaking down? Oh, no. Oh, man, Matt Field transitions out of the horseshoe. They can hear you for those fans that are leaving. 1, 2, 3, send it! Here we go. Frederick Aasbo, Chris Forsberg coming down the pipe. Who's going to be on the pipe? Here we go. Bringing it into that first inside clip. Big angle from Aasbo. Forsberg dropping back a little bit. Let's see if he can reel him in. We saw that earlier. And now coming to that second outside zone. Aasbo gets out there. Forsberg, amazing proximity. Now coming out of the horseshoe. Freddie looking a little bit more fluid here. Now coming back up the hill. And there it goes. Aasbo, last time we're going to potentially send it here in Atlanta. Make some noise. Here we go. Chris the Force Forsberg, the Norwegian Hammer, Frederick Aasbo. Who's going to come out on top? Who's going to win here at round 2 of the Formula Jet Pro Championship? Now coming into that first front clip. There goes Chris Forsberg. Now coming on up the hill. Look at Frederick Aasbo. He takes out that cone. Into that first outside zone. You see a little decel there from Aasbo. Into the second outside zone. Now on that front clip. Transitioning out of the horseshoe. How are they going to handle it? Bringing it on around into one more final touch and go and a front clip. Woo! Wait, doctor, look at that. Aasbo has that horsepower on deck. Absolutely, as soon as those lights illuminate. Send it, Frederick Aasbo and Chris the Force Forsberg, the Norwegian Hammer versus the Force. Coming down into that first inside clip. Let's see what we got. Frederick Aasbo initiates. Forsberg tries to get to the door of Supra. And there goes that Supra trying to pull away from Chris Forsberg. Into that first outside zone. Coming in outside zone 2. Freddie uses all the course, gets all the way out there to the edge. Now past that inside clip. Freddie does knock it over as Forsberg now takes a tighter line, exiting out of the horseshoe. Now back up past that final front clip. Make some noise, Atlanta! PM dial, and here we go. Send it, Atlanta. Forsberg, Aasbo, Force, the Hammer, Nissan versus Toyota, GT Radial versus Ditto. Big initiation there from Forsberg. Big angle from him. Now coming on in, shallow on that line, coming to that first outside zone. Cones are flying everywhere. It's a party here in Atlanta. Into that front clip. Big, nice sweep there by both the drivers. Look at that snappy transition from Aasbo. Coming on down, back the hill. One more clip for glory for one of these drivers. Aasbo or Forsberg. Castro in the Toyota, Forsberg in that all-new Nissan Z. Castro in the all-new Toyota GR86. Castro initiated into the bank. Forsberg in tow. Castro. See him really sticking it to the wall. Forsberg sticking it to the door of that Toyota. Now coming into that first inside clip, transitioning now into that second inside clip. There goes Castro, there goes Forsberg in that second outside zone. Castro taking a very shallow line. He needs to find his car out there. And Forsberg pressuring him as they cross the two drivers that have been around since day one, 2004. A three-time champ, Chris Forsberg. NOS energy drink. All new Nissan Z. Castro trying to be aggressive, but we talk about being in the pocket, and he is bursting that bubble right now. He is exceeding the front tires. He has the proximity, but we need him to get in the pocket, and Castro, being too aggressive, did not allow himself enough room to transition. If he completes the entirety of this run, he will get the victory. He does exceed that line, but imagine like doing a dirt drop in Atlanta, you know, going to the keyhole. That Rad Industries gear wrench, Mark IV Super GT Radials, both these guys on GT Radials. Little stutter step there from Burkett and Forsberg. Swing across the nose from Dan Burkett. And here comes Forsberg talking about that horsepower he's got on deck. Will it show up here, coming down into that first inner clip. Chris Forsberg brings it across that second inside clip. Dan Burkett almost into that crease. So Dan Burkett coming a bit short. Our previous round of competition currently sits 5th in points. Wants to continue that success. He's going to need to throw down here. Big initiation from him. Dan Burkett gets right to the side of him. Has to fall back as Forsberg continues on in pace. Again, that soft suspension absorbs it. Now going into that second inside clip and that final second outer zone. Burkett bathing in the GT Radial smoke. Burkett keeps his prowess though. Nissan Z of Chris the Force Forsberg. Lights are off and it's go time. Daniel Stooky will lead. Initiating into the bank. That VR powered all new Nissan Z. You can see him pacing. Stooky now coming off the bank into that first inside clip, transitioning now. See, that's what I'm talking about. Just that chase that Aasbo did earlier, so hard to beat. Wasn't as much angle from Stooky, so the opportunity wasn't there. But the proximity, look at, you saw Forsberg grab. The wind dying down just a little bit, which is a good sign. Here we go as Forsberg will lead. Stooky right there next to Forsberg. We'll see how he initiates and drops into formation. Forsberg high on the bank. That NOS energy drink, Nissan Z. Now into that first clip. Stooky in the smoke, goes way on the inside.
That may have been 3 off.
And regardless, Forsberg continues on, and he will be going to the final 4 at Evergreen. But I don't think he's won an event.
Good memory.
So here we go. Frederick Aasbo leaving the start line, and we got a clean start. Here we go. Frederick Aasbo, the first run of this battle. Forsberg in tow. Aasbo riding the wall. This is like what we just saw from those 2 American vehicles, and now we're seeing it from the imports of Toyota and Nissan. Aasbo and Forsberg now alternating positions, going to that second inside clip. Good transition for both the drivers. Forsberg doing a good job keeping that pace, keeping that tempo. Oh, coming up a little bit short there, but keeping that proximity is Forsberg. So compromising, getting deep, but getting... Yeah, just to clarify, Dylan has never won but podium twice. As Chris Forsberg leaves the line, it's all about Forsberg and Aasbo, and a transition there. Look at Aasbo, just barely flirting with that back bumper. So that's what we saw Aasbo do earlier. So lower on the bank, proximity not as high, and we saw him do that against Essa. And look at, there's Aasbo doing his signature move, just barely allowing Forsberg to transition, going to that final crease. And Aasbo dropping back. Forsberg riding right on that edge. Aasbo exceeding it just a little bit. He out-qualified the three-time champ. Will Dylan Hughes get his first ever win in the rain? Chris Forsberg got second in Atlanta. Can he better it here in these very wet conditions? Dylan Hughes initiates on the fake. Good angle from him and his royal purple BMW O'Reilly Auto Parts. As the windshield wipers are wiping, the Rain X is a-working. Now down into that first inner clip. Chris Forsberg chasing him down into that second inner clip. Forsberg keeping the composure. Dylan Hughes, great angle from him. Going to that second outside zone, into the crease with Dylan Hughes. Chris Forsberg right there in the highest horsepower, all new Nissan Z, the NOS Energy Drink Z, chasing down the royal gladiators of them all, making some history. Let's send it for potentially the final time. Is this it? Are we going to get a winner? Chris Forsberg or Dylan Hughes? Chris Forsberg initiates in his NOS Energy Drink. Nissan Z on GT Rim. Look at Dylan Hughes, the proximity, the angle from Forsberg. Dylan Hughes chasing him down. You can see that brake light just barely kind of flickering on the wall. Coming down to that first inside clip. Transition. Nice job by Dylan Hughes into the second inside clip. Are we going to go one more time? Oh, Dylan Hughes does take out that inside clip. Chris Forsberg gets in the crease, does exceed it just a little bit. Now coming, bring it along across the finish line. Forsberg or Hughes? What do you guys think? Lead in the AutoZone RTR Spec 5. Chris Forsberg giving chase as NOS Energy Drink, Nissan 370Z. Here comes Adam LZ in that first outside zone. Chris Forsberg initiates, looks like Adam LZ hooking up, coming and really slingshotting out of that first outside zone. Adam LZ filling all of that second outside zone. Look at this, a little bit of gap between LZ and Forsberg. But again, it's all about, oh, look at this snappy transition into, oh, and Adam LZ, it looks like, so with that snappy transition, the whole new Nissan Z, NOS Energy Drink vehicle, Adam LZ in the AutoZone. Pennzoil RTR Spec 5D. Chris Forsberg under the bridge into that first outside zone. Into the second outside zone. Go Forsberg and Z. And now into that, look at that. Look at Adam LZ sticking it to the door of Chris Forsberg, the three-time champ. Now transitioning into that final outside zone. Chris Forsberg brings it on in, Adam LZ. He knows who he's going against. This car is a rocket ship, both of them. So here we go, Justin Pollock and Chris Forsberg. JTP out front, that Falcon Tires Ford Mustang. Chris Forsberg initiates a little earlier than JTP. We'll see if that pays off. Now transitioning into that second outside zone. JTP, big angle. Chris Forsberg not as deep. Now he finds himself in the middle of that second outside zone. Let's see how they transition here into that final outside zone. Chris Forsberg paces them. Looks like he was just on the wrong side of his vehicle, and Justin Pollock all the way in that final outside zone. Unnecessary. Here we go. Chris Forsberg will lead. JTP, Justin Pollock giving chase. Here comes Forsberg, NOS Energy Drink, all new Nissan Z on GT Radio tires. He knows he needs to throw down, he does just that. Big gangster initiation, but JTP, watch him kind of surge up here, he does that. Lacking the angle, but does gain the proximity. Now Forsberg into that second outside zone. Into that final outside zone goes Forsberg. Here goes Justin Pollock, and oh, Pollock goes into the wall, but he salvages it. That could have been, oh boy. AZ Rags Cash Racing BMW against Chris Forsberg, who we thought was out. It was a scratch. Nope. Guess what? That all-new NOS Energy Drink Nissan Z is back at it like a track addict. Now into that second outside zone, and Forsberg comes in hot. Looks like we got a little tire contact there. The GT radio's going to the side. It looks like Forsberg shuts it down. Don't know exactly what the problem was previously, but it might be suspension related, it might be power. Regardless, seems that was a little unharnessed. Zip ties and bubble gum to get that thing back together, but still just a great program, debuting a new car, and still, you know, coming into this round of competition, Forsberg is sitting third, so going out in 32, that's obviously going to have repercussions, but Jonathan Hurst gets the victory as he takes his victory lap, one of the loudest vehicles in the Formula Drift grid. Jonathan Hurst, that AZ a rising star here in the Pro Championship. Let's see what we got. The NOS Energy Drink Nissan Z of Chris Forsberg initiates into the bank. Let's see Hurst. You can see him gaining closer, gaining some ground. Big angle there from Chris Forsberg. Again, qualifying third. Let's see how it handles the power alley. Into the second outside zone. Into the third. Jonathan Hurst diving in on the inside. Tight to that inside clip. Now transitioning into that final outside zone. You can see the attitude of Hurst's car. There is Jonathan Hurst now leading. Forsberg giving chase. They leave the start line. Here we go. The AZ Rags BMW throws it in aggressively. Forsberg getting right to the side of him, has to back off a little bit. You can see getting closer and closer. Big angle there from Hurst in that second outside zone. Forsberg not being shaken. Now into that third outside zone. Through the power alley goes Jonathan Hurst. Forsberg right there. Let's see how they handle his transition. And gets right to the side of him and brings it on home. Big angle there from Hurst.
Big wall hit from Hurst.
Like Chris said, he says Jeff Jones has been absolutely ripping. He knows he's a contender. Here we go. Chris Forsberg initiates into the bank, almost simultaneous there from Forsberg and Jones. Big angle there. Look at the attitude of Forsberg's car. You see it wobble. Oh, Jeff Jones going for it. Into that second outside zone, into the power alley, into that third outside zone. Here comes Jeff Jones on the inside. Taking a tight line, Chris Forsberg nudging over that inside clip and then into that outside final zone. That got for him to have a contention for the championship. That would be him going for his fourth. Here we go, Jeff Jones out front. That Eve Meyer Nissan 370Z initiates big angle from him. You can see how much power he's got. Big angle there from Jones. Now Jones, let's see how he handles the power alley into that second outside zone. Big angle from Jones. Forsberg attacks on that third outside zone. Forsberg now drops to the door of Jones into that final outside and fourth zone. Would love to see the overhead and half of it with Aasbo. Here we go. Chris Forsberg leads. Jeff Jones giving chase. Initiating that all-new Z. Goes Chris Forsberg, the three-time champ. Good angle from him, Jeff Jones. Good proximity. Look at that, diving in. Man, Jeff Jones out for blood. Jeff Jones dives in once again. Both of them wrapping around that inside clip and bringing it on home as Jeff Jones looks like he quickly tapped the wall, but didn't cause too much damage, I hope. Let's see who comes out on top after this one more time battle. Remember, the winner advancing on to the Link Engine Management Grade 8. Jeff Jones, Eve Meyer Nissan 370Z shreds that back bumper. The hatch opens, and that very well could potentially be a problem. And now coming through into that second outside zone, Chris Forsberg swings wide, takes out that outside clip. And Ryan, I mean, am I Taylor Hole in that Comp Cams Edelbrock Yellow Speed Racing Wild Willie's Beard Products? Let's see what we got here between Forsberg and Hole. Forsberg initiates, big angle from him, that all-new Z. Taylor Hole needs to get a little high, and it seems that Forsberg puts it to the, oh, he does not get out to that second outside zone, and Taylor Hole, a big correction there. Straightens out in that power alley. Now comes into that final outside zone. And the all-new Nissan Z. Taylor Hole through that start chicane, no cones were hit. Getting that eye in the sky view, the bird's eye view. Oh, buddy. Taylor Hole initiates. You see Chris Forsberg get close, has to back off. And now Taylor Hole maintains the height on the bank. Oh, Taylor, looks like Taylor does go one wheel off in that second outside zone. And now in that final outside zone, here goes Taylor Hole. And Forsberg brings it on in. And across the line they go. On Nitto Tires going against Chris the Force Forsberg and the NOS Energy Drink GT Radial all new Z. Chelsea DeNofa initiates, big angle from Chelsea. Throws it in high on the bank. Chelsea DeNofa a little higher than Forsberg. He needs to slide back to a little more massive angle from Chelsea. Now into that second outside zone. Forsberg makes the attack on that third outside zone. Gets right to the door of the Mustang. Great job by Chelsea out front. Now to that final outside zone. DeNofa gets in it. Forsberg just a bit out. All right. It's already done. Here we go. Chris Forsberg out front. Chelsea DeNofa in the chase position. Here we go. Forsberg initiating. Chelsea DeNofa chasing him down for it. Oh man, DeNofa! You see a little bit of wobble there now coming to that second outside zone. DeNofa aggressive with the chase into that third outside zone. Now into the final outside zone. Here goes Forsberg and DeNofa into the sunlight as the sun sets on one of these drivers and also in the sky. And here we go. Let's see. Chris Forsberg will lead. Forsberg qualifying fourth. A great qualifying position for him. 98.4 miles per hour comes in that first inside clip. Big wide swing. Ryan Litteral goes off course. And now Forsberg get that POV, that FPV. Goes in that second inside clip. Ryan Litteral into that inside clip. Quite a bit of distance back here. Ryan Litteral shuts it down. Chris Forsberg continues on through the paces. All right, as we are seeing Ryan Litteral, the power stop breaks S15. Chris Forsberg pacing him here on initiation. Let's see what kind of speeds we get out of Ryan Litteral, hitting that 90. Looks like just a clips there at 94.6. Pulling those GT radials off the ground into that first outside zone. Transition to the second, and Litteral looks like shuts it down. That's a big correction there. And wide swing around that second. So it's kind of a reinitiation there. Looks like he lost drift on that second outside zone. And pulling through the line. But want to get that overhead view, but just with the naked eye. All right, looks like we're ready to go. Here we go. Forsberg out front. Odie in the chase position. We got a clean start here. The all-new NOS Energy Drink Nissan Z initiating. Big, nasty initiation. Odie Bakchis right there. Whoa. Pushing him. Looks like maybe contact there. We'll get the eye in the sky view from our U.S. Air Force replay. Odie Bakchis slides to the side of Chris Forsberg, keeping the angle and pushing around. Now transitioning into that final outside zone. Odie Bakchis absolutely tuned up. Dialing into that last outside zone. Oh, doctor, look at these guys. Wow, what an absolute bonkers run. And those rotoform wheels taking a licking. Keep it on ticking. So that thing looked like a Ginsu knife all chopped up. Here we go. Odie Bakchis out front. Chris Forsberg in that chase position. Let's see how they initiate. Odie Bakchis initiates into that first inside clip. Here comes Forsberg. Odie Bakchis, want to see that top view to see if he got to that all of that first outside zone. Great angle from Odie Bakchis. Look at that. Absolutely dial on that second. And now in that final outside zone, Odie Bakchis sets it and forgets it. Man. I see you plugging your ear there, Ryan. That encore again, 4th and 5th in the standings. Let's see where they land. One of these gentlemen, the point stop here. One of them is going to continue on. The all-new NOS Energy Drink Nissan Z on GT radial tires. Big entry there from Forsberg. Chelsea DeNofa bring up the rear of that Penzo Mustang RTR Spec 5. Chase him down, getting buried in the smoke. Getting all that second outside zone as Forsberg and DeNofa trying to get to the side of him is that Ford Mustang. Now let's see how they transition in that final outside zone. Forsberg gets in it. Buries that Z in it. DeNofa, good proximity. And comes unwound across the finish. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, beautiful day in the neighbor. Here we go. Chelsea DeNofa out front, Chris Forsberg in the chase position. 108.7 miles per hour, the fastest we've seen. Chelsea DeNofa that wide swing in that first outside zone. Transitioning into the second outside zone. Now into that inside clip goes Chelsea DeNofa. Big, massive angle there. Now bathing in the smoke is Chris Forsberg. How he stuck with that is unbelievable. Now into that last outside zone. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo!